Twang Stri,
Twam Sri,
thou art woman.
thou art woman.
Twang Pumanasi,
Twam Pumanasi,
thou art also man.
thou art also man.
Twang Kumara,
Twam Kumara,
thou art the little boy.
thou art the little boy.
Utava Kumari,
Utava Kumari,
and also the little girl.
and also the little girl.
Twang Jirno Dandena Vanchasi,
Twam Jirno Dandena Vanchasi,
thou art the old man
thou art the old man
walking with a cane.
walking with a cane.
Tang Jato Bhavasi,
Twam Jato Bhavasi,
and thou art born again and again.
and thou art born again and again.
Vishyato Mukha,
Vishwato Mukha,
everywhere in different forms.
everywhere in different forms.
Tameva Mata cha Pita Tameva, Tameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tameva, Tameva Vidya Dravinam Tameva, Tameva Sarvang Mama Deva Deva. Thou art to me, O Lord, the affectionate mother, constantly looking to my well-being. Thou art to me the compassionate Father, whose care and counsel always guide
and sustain me.
Thou art the faithful friend,
Ever standing by me in trials and temptations, and the loving companion to share my joys and sufferings.
Thou art my wisdom, my wealth, nay, thou art my all in all, O Lord Supreme. Jananim Sardam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Pada Padme Tayasishtva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Taking refuge in their lotus feet, I salute
again and again Holy Mother Sarada Devi and Sri Ramakrishna,
world teacher. Chant and Brahma Pranam.
Goswami.
Huh?
After sitting, Maharaj?
After sitting, yes. How are you, Mrs. Rogers?
I'm feeling better, thank you, Swami.
Right. Om Brahma Arpanam Brahma Havir Brahma Vino Brahmana Hutam Brahmaivate Nagantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Hari Om Tat Sat. The act of offering is Brahman. The oblation is Brahman. Brahman has offered the oblation. In the heart it is Brahman. He who has the understanding that all actions, objects,
and instruments of action are Brahman, realizes Brahman.
Sure.
Would you like some halwa?
What is that?
Halwa?
Who made the halwa? Today, who made the
Who made
halwa?
halwa?
Oh, I did, Swami.
Oh, Mr. Stelman. Just a minute. Yes.
Just a little bit.
Bring your plate.
You can have these strawberries too. What would you like to drink, Maharaj? What would you like to drink?
This.
Okay.
Oh, this is pineapple.
This is pineapple.
Apple is there.
Would you like apple
Apple,
juice?
yes. Half. Bas.
Coffee, Maharaj? That's okay.
The pilgrim from Lucknow.
What did you say?
The pilgrim from Lucknow.
The pilgrim. This is my pilgrimage here, right? Yeah.
You have to read.
What?
You have to read.
Oh, I have.
Being pilgrim alone won't help. You have to read.
What, in Hindi?
No. Strive to attain God. This, where it was read, there is a mark or not. Maybe there is a mark. Find out the proper
Okay.
place.
So there's a clip on a message to Prabhupada Bharata. Did we do that one?
No, you see, we'll
Well, there's a clip there,
click.
and then it goes to meditation. Does that mean that that section should be read?
I have no idea.
No, I think the one message is more that you play
So this is,
meditation.
it was. Then I do meditation.
Something.
Okay, we'll do meditation.
Sure.
To realize God, an aspirant must have patience, perseverance, purity of body and mind, intense desire or yearning, and the aggregate of the 6 attributes, namely Shama, tranquility of mind, Dhamma, restraint of the senses, Uparati, giving up of attachment to objects,
Please. Oh,
Tatiksha,
did you?
remaining unaffected amidst all kinds of afflictions.
I don't know.
Shraddha, faith in the words of the spiritual teacher and the scriptures. And Samadhana, concentration of mind on the chosen ideal or God. Do not tell anybody else except the Guru the realizations and the visions or similar experiences that spiritual practices may bring you. Always keep your spiritual treasures, your inmost thoughts, hidden within you. These are not for vulgar gaze. These are your sacred possessions to be shared only between you and the Lord in secret. Likewise, do not talk of your defects and blemishes to others. You lose thereby your self-respect and the respect of others for you. They are for you to confess to the Lord. Pray to Him for strength to overcome them. When you begin meditation, first sit steadily for a while and watch the mind. Let it wander wherever it pleases. Think that you are the witness, the seer. Sit watching how the mind floats and sinks, runs and skips. Keep thinking, I am not the body, nor the senses, nor the mind. I am altogether separate from the mind. The mind too is material. It is only a finer form of matter. I am the Atman, the self, the master. The mind is my servant. Whenever any idle thoughts arise in the mind, try at once to put it down forcibly. Ordinarily, one breathes through the left nostril at the time of rest, through the right at the time of work, and through them both at the time of meditation. The state most favorable to meditation is when the body and mind have become calm and there is an even flow of breath through both nostrils. But do not pay too much attention to watching your breath, nor make this a guide by which to regulate your activities. When the mind is absolutely calm, breathing becomes steady, and kumbhaka, suspension of breath, follows. When breathing is steady, the mind becomes one-pointed. Bhakti, love of God, also brings about kumbhaka, and breathing becomes steady. Even without practicing yoga, pranayama, control of breath, is attained automatically if one remembers and thinks of the Lord and does japa, repetition of the mantra, with a yearning heart. There is no other easy or convenient method to achieve one-pointedness of mind except by abhyasa, repeated and sustained efforts, and by vairagya, non-attachment to worldly objects. Whatever be the time you devote to japa and meditation, even if it be only 10 or 15 minutes, do it with all your heart and soul. The Lord is the indweller, the inner guide. He sees your heart. His measure is not how long you meditate on Him or how many times you do japa, but your inner longing. Effort, purushakara, is necessary for spiritual attainment. Resolve firmly. I will realize God through my own efforts by doing spiritual practices, and go on steadfastly practicing japa and meditation, seated in proper posture for at least 2 hours every day, morning and evening, for 3 or 4 years, and see if you succeed or not. When by continued practice of japa and meditation the mind has become calm and purified, then the mind itself will be your guru or guide, and you will have proper understanding of everything and find the solution of your spiritual doubts and questions within yourself. The mind will tell you what you should do, one thing after another, and how you should conduct yourself. Japa, or mental repetition of the mantra, counting it on the fingers, using a rosary, or keeping the number of the repetitions, all these are only preliminary means to help withdraw the mind from other objects and fix it on the object of worship. Otherwise, you will not know when the mind may have run away in another direction, or you may even have dozed off. So though these processes may appear to have a little distraction at the onset, they will enable you to keep watch over the mind's vagaries, to detect them easily, and to draw the mind back and keep it on the object of meditation. Never think that you are weak. Have firm faith in yourself. Think, there is nothing that I cannot do. I can do everything if I will. Why should you acknowledge defeat to your mind? Know that if you can subdue it, the whole world will be under your feet. One who has no self-confidence does not have real faith in God. Swami Vivekananda has said that the real atheist is he who has no faith in himself. Nobody listens to the words of one who has no self-confidence. And God also does not listen to his prayers. Asana is that posture in which one can sit for meditation steadily and with ease for a long time. But the spine has to be kept straight. The chest, neck, and head should be held erect so that the entire weight of the upper part of the body may fall on the ribs and the chest may not sag. A stooping posture in any case is not healthy. Japa, meditation, ritualistic worship, prayer, recollectedness, reading sacred books, association with holy men, godly conversation, retiring into solitude, and thinking spiritual thoughts. Whichever of these attracts you according to mood and opportunity and gives you joy, take advantage of that and do that. But meditation and japa are the main things. Never miss them for a single day. However occupied you may be, or even in times of sickness or infirmity, in misfortune and calamity. In such circumstances you cannot do or do not find it convenient to carry on your practice in full measure. Okay. In such circumstances, if you cannot or do not find it convenient to carry on your practice in full measure, make salutation and pray and do japa for at least 10 or 15 minutes. The sensible man does not try to diagnose his own disease and prescribe medicine for himself by reading medical books. In case of disease, a doctor's advice should be sought. In the same way, if after reading many books and scriptures one proceeds to choose for himself a particular spiritual discipline, his mind may become confused and troubled by doubts and misgivings. Progress may be interrupted, and waste of effort and even harm may result. The reason is that the various scriptures contain diverse and even contradictory directions and methods for aspirants of different temperaments and capacities and different stages of life. It is therefore dangerous in many cases to decide for yourself what is exactly suitable for you. The Guru alone can direct you to the right path. That is why spiritual knowledge has to be acquired direct from the Guru. Know that the initiation and instructions given by him are the only path for you to follow. If you do the spiritual practices as enjoined by him unswervingly and with full faith in them and in him, you are sure to achieve success in course of time. In any event, never give up these practices and take to other methods under anybody else's advice. If you jump from one thing to another, the only result will be that you will lose your way and drift about without gaining anything. When God, in his boundless mercy, has through the Guru imparted the Siddha mantra, mystic formula of the particular name of the deity, which is the key to the portal of his sanctuary, know that he has given himself away freely. But it is necessary for you to have that firm conviction. If you lose that invaluable jewel through carelessness and negligence, know that you are unfit for his grace. The right appreciation of this gift is the practice of the mantra and the instructions imparted by the Guru with your whole heart and soul until the goal is reached. Only by so doing will you be able to repay a part of the debt to him. The more you realize that God is near and dearer to you than your near and dear ones, the more you will be the recipient of his grace. Through his grace, you will be free and ever blissful, even in this life. Until love and devotion to God grows, you cannot be aware of the transitory and insubstantial nature of the world. The mind is but one, and it cannot be partitioned into compartments, one part given to God, and the other parts filled with desires for name, fame, and sense objects. God cannot be realized unless the whole mind is given to him. Unless one can do that, one has to be born again and again in the world and suffer endless misery. In order to renounce the world, one need not take holy orders or retire to the forest. Real renunciation is of the mind. If you give up the world mentally, it is the same whether you remain in the world or in the forest. If you run away to the forest without completely renouncing from your mind attachment for worldly objects, the world will follow you there also and trouble you just the same. There will be no escape from it. If you have to be in the world at all, make God your world. Set up your home with him. Whatever you do, see or hear, think that to be God. It is all play, a game with him. Know life to be a game in which Mother herself is the player and you are her playmate. The world will be quite different when and if you know that Mother is playing with you. Then you will find that in this world there is neither happiness nor misery, good nor evil, attachment nor aversion, greed nor jealousy. Consequently, all delusion, self-interest, and conflict will vanish, and no pairs of opposites can torment you there. All ideas of union or separation, of friend or foe, of high and low, of I and mine, are non-existent in that play of yours with the Divine Mother. There is only inexhaustible bliss, boundless love, and infinite peace. If even a drop of that bliss be experienced, the pleasures of worldly objects will seem contemptible. The possession of even an atom of that love will make the whole world dearer than your dearest ones, and the heavenly bliss will be felt through every pore of your body. There is no fear in that play, no anxiety, no bondage, no weariness. It is always an ever new play. And what infinite modes of play does the Mother know? Endless are the forms and ways in which she plays. One loses oneself in the very thought of it and is merged therein. In that moment of transcendental ecstasy, the play ceases. For who will play then, and with whom? That beatific experience, that state of blissful union, is beyond the reach of speech and mind. He alone knows who knows. Great fun, oh, great fun. If God comes and says, what do you want? Do you want me, or do you want to live a happy life full of health and wealth for 100 years with wife, children, and grandchildren? You will find that, except perhaps for 10 million, all will eagerly pray for the latter. To realize God, one must devote oneself to the task, heart and soul, 100%. Not even less by a millionth part of 1%, or the minutest fraction thereof will do. What almost all of us seek is to realize Him easily without much toil and trouble, and without sacrificing anything. We want to compromise between God and the world. We think that if the Guru, out of his infinite mercy, can get him for us and give us salvation, nothing could be better than that. Alas, how can this be? The Lord must have his entire due, settled and squared to the last farthing. He who really wants him finds him. He who does not is made to dance to the tune of the 5 devils. That is, he becomes the plaything of the 5 elements, which comprise the material of the body and the universe: earth, water, fire, air, and space. He is at the mercy of evil influences of all kinds. Okay.
Finish.
Yes, and this is a picture of Swami Shraddhananda.
That chapter is finished.
On meditation. Then the next one is how to meditate.
Okay, that is enough.
I know, that was pretty much. Strive to attain God. By Swami Shraddhananda, 6th president of the order, and Swami served him for 12 years as private secretary.
You have brought your music book
I have.
or forgotten?
No, I have brought it.
Brought it? Find out one nice song. First read the words, read the translation, and then sing.
This is the verse of very great poet in India, and he might make one poetry. He sing himself, and all the music direction also he does it himself.
What is the name of
his
the poet?
His name is Pradeep Ji.
Pradeep Ji.
And all his singing is in Hindi, and it has been very popular all over India. And I have written it down when I was about 18 years of age, some of it, which I got it with me. Now the one I'm going to sing now is, that's what I have translated. Pain reliever of others, your pain will be relieved by God. You keep on doing good deeds, your pain will be relieved by God. This is a road to truth and path to religion. Walk carefully step by step, sacrifice stride upon stride. Should not ever afraid, God will take care of your luck. What you achieve, what you gain, what is problems. There will be taken care, this will be taken care by God. O animal, why you worry? You keep on doing good deeds, your wealth in safe of God. Wipe all your tears, your pain will be relieved by God. दूसरों का दुखड़ा दूर करने वाले तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम. दूसरों का दुखड़ा दूर करने वाले तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम. किए जा तू जग में भलाई का काम तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम. सत्य का ये पथ है धर्म का मार्ग संभल संभल चलना प्राणी. पग पग पर है यहाँ रे कसोटी कदम कदम पर कुर्बानी. मगर सताना डरना होगा तेरा तकदीर हरेंगे राम. दूसरों का दुखड़ा दूर करने वाले तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम. किए जा तू जग में भलाई का काम तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम. क्या तूने पाया क्या तूने खोया क्या तेरा लाभ है क्या हानि. इसका हिसाब करेगा वो ईश्वर. तू क्यों फिक्र करे रे प्राणी. तू बस अपना काम किए जा तेरा भंडार भरेंगे राम. दूसरों का दुखड़ा दूर करने वाले तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम. पूछ ले तू अपना तमाम तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम। दूसरों का दुखड़ा दूर करने वाले तेरे दुख दूर करेंगे राम।
Fish. You learn from this class?
No, this is I learned from childhood.
Childhood?
Yes, when I was a boy rather.
Oh. Can you sing a short song from the class?
Yes, Maharaj, sure. Now that's why I thought so, that's why I brought my book with me. Usually I don't. I like to hide it.
Now what melody you are going to sing?
Well, should I let me, I thought of one which I will tell you. I was thinking of singing of Guru.
No.
No?
No Guru.
Okay. In Rag Bhairavi.
No, Bhairavi is in the mornings,
Oh, yes, yes.
early morning.
Okay, then something else. Could I sing another one? No. This is in Rag Bhim Palasi.
That's very good.
Taught by तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी.
You did not say the English?
Maharaj, now I've got a problem. I have to write it down. When I've got to translate, I've got a problem. I've got to write it. This I've written it down at home before I come up
If
with
you just sing in Hindi, no one...
This is a song of Meera.
Huh?
me. No, Surdas Bhajan.
Meera, is it Surdas?
Surdas Bhajan.
He is asking God to
तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी.
You cannot say the English of this.
I got Maharaj.
You read this Hindi words, I will translate. Say.
Okay. तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी.
Oh Hari, oh Lord, you please keep my... you see that I am not in shame.
तुम जानत सब अंतर्यामी.
You know the minds of everyone.
करनी कछु न करी.
Huh?
Then it says करनी कछु न करी.
You have not to do anything. Without doing anything,
अवगुण मोहे बिसरत नाही.
if you can keep yourself free from delusion, moha.
पल छिन घारी पल छिन घारी.
This troubles me.
That is why I write it at home.
Palachina, this is colloquial Hindi.
Then I'll go for other one.
No, this is already done then.
सब प्रपंच की ओट बांध कर अपने शीश कर.
Giving up all the attachments of prapancha, of this world, you keep yourself in your own true being, your true self.
धारा सूतधर मोह लियो है।
Huh? Dhara?
धारा सूतधर मोह लियो है।
Oh. In this world, sons and daughters and all these relations, they are sources of great delusion.
सुधि बुद्धि सब बिसरी।
Because you give up your pure hankering, pure desire. All these things are covered by your attachment to the sons, grandsons, and brother-in-laws and like this.
Surapati.
You have a brother-in-law?
I have. Surapati को वेगे उद्धारो।
Suro?
Surapati को वेगे उद्धारो।
Yes, Suradas. Written by Suradas?
Yes.
Suradas.
Suradas says that God will deliver you from all these troubles.
अब मेरी नाव भारी।
But for the right now, my
Boat is heavy.
huh?
My boat is heavy.
my boat is very heavy. But if God's grace comes, it will be light.
Rag Bhim Palas.
Huh?
This is Rag
Rag
Bhim
Bhim Palas. Good.
Taught by my teacher.
Teacher. Achha.
तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम जानत सब अंतरयामी, तुम जानत सब अंतरयामी, करनी कछुना करी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, पल अवगुण मोह से बिसरत नाही, पल छीन घारी, पल छीन घारी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, सब प्रपंच की पोट बांध कर अपने शीश धरी, सब प्रपंच की पोट बांध कर अपने शीश धरी, दारा सुत दर मोह लियो है, दारा सुत दर मोह लियो है, सुधि बुद्धि सब बिसरी, सुधि बुद्धि सब बिसरी, सूरपतिट को वेगे उधारो, सूरपतिट को वेगे उधारो, अब मेरी नाव भारी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज लाज हरी राखो लाज हरी.
Wow. Nice. You have Saragama written there?
I have?
Here?
Not on this one, Maharaj.
No.
No, not on this one.
Acha, you take one lesson in the class, then how many days at home you practice?
Well, about 1 hour every night.
Oh,
Sometimes only 1 hour, a whole week, and I get on okay.
yes. Are you the best student?
Not really. There are others. I'm the
Fourth.
very backward student.
Who is the first one?
I would say Gandhi,
Gandhi.
and Kishore Bhai,
Kishore Bhai?
and also Sohini Ben. They are the
Sohini.
best.
They are the best. Acha. You have to pay how much for each sitting?
Well, we pay $40 a month. She
Oh, a
comes-
month.
Yes, she comes 3 times a month.
Oh. Dr. Lewis, are you going to be a member of this singing?
I don't think they want me.
Acha, you now read another from the other book. Booming voice. Find out, she will find out. There is a mark
Okay.
and all. From time to time you should show your face. Your camera will.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Don't turn it this way. Grace and self-effort. Apparently, the divine love are grace and self-effort by Swami Prabhupada. Is that the one you want, Swami?
No, I have not seen that.
All right. Grace and self-effort. The most important thing necessary for a spiritual aspirant is longing for God and the desire to seek and find Him. There are many religions in the world, innumerable sects with their varied theories, beliefs, and doctrines, but these are helpful to us only insofar as they create in us the desire to realize God and show us the ways to reach Him. They are of no avail if we simply believe in them and give an intellectual assent to their philosophical or theological doctrines. Creeds, theories, and beliefs alone cannot transform character. Hence, they cannot give us a stability of inner peace. Sri Ramakrishna tells the following parable. A pundit hired a ferry boat to carry him across the river. He was the only passenger, so he began to talk to the ferryman. Do you know the Samkhya or Patanjali philosophy? He asked the man. No, sir, I don't, he replied. Do you know Nyaya, Vaiseshika, or Vedanta, or any of the systems of thought? No, sir, I don't. I am just a poor man who earns his living by ferrying this boat. I know nothing of all these things of which you speak. The pundit felt sorry for the poor man's ignorance, and in a somewhat superior manner, he began to teach him some of the various doctrines. He was very proud of his learning, and was glad of the opportunity to air it. Suddenly, however, a storm arose, and the small boat became unmanageable. The waters became more and more turbulent, until finally the boatman asked his passenger, "Sir, can you swim?" "No, I cannot," the pundit said in alarm. "Well, then, goodbye, sir. I'm afraid your learning and knowledge of the scriptures will avail you little now in your hour of need if you cannot swim." In the same way, when we are battered by the storm and stress of life, Our knowledge of theological doctrines is of no avail if we have not fortified ourselves by learning how to enter the kingdom of heaven, the haven of peace where God dwells, according to the Chandogya Upanishad. The self within the heart is like a boundary which divides this world from that. Day and night cross not that boundary, nor old age nor death, neither grief nor pleasure, neither good nor evil deeds. All evil shuns that, for that is free from impurity. By impurity it can never be touched. Wherefore he who has crossed that boundary and has realized the self, if he is blind, ceases to be blind. If he is wounded, ceases to be wounded. If he is afflicted, ceases to be afflicted. When that boundary is crossed, night becomes day, for the world of Brahman is light itself. Therefore, the only struggle must be to reach the light, the world of Brahman. Our sufferings and tribulations are direct and immediate experiences, and it is only the direct and immediate experience of the kingdom of God that can overcome the tribulations of the world. Quotes, erudition, well-articulated speech, wealth of words, and skill in expounding the scriptures. These things give pleasure to the learned, but they do not bring liberation, unquote, says Shankara. A buried treasure is not uncovered by merely uttering the words, come forth. You must follow the right directions. You must dig and work hard to remove the stones and earth covering it. Then only can you make it your own. In the same way, the pure truth of the Atman, buried under Maya and the effects of Maya, can be reached by meditation, contemplation, and other spiritual disciplines, such as a knower of Brahman may prescribe, but never by subtle arguments. Longing for God, longing for liberation from the tribulations of life, is the most important thing for the spiritual aspirant. Of course, everyone wants to be free from suffering and misery, but like some lower animals, our vision does not range beyond a few feet, so that we see only our immediate troubles and sufferings and struggle to free ourselves from them only. Our vision is limited, so that we do not try to get at the root, the source of all tribulations. The root cause of all suffering is ignorance, and to free ourselves completely from all suffering is knowledge. Knowledge of God, the one reality. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, quote, among those who are purified by their good deeds, there are 4 kinds of men who worship me. The world weary, the seeker for knowledge, the seeker for happiness, and the man of spiritual discrimination. The man of discrimination is the highest of these. He devotes himself to me always and to no other, for I am very dear to that man and he is dear to me, unquote. It does not matter how the longing for God first arises, for as Sri Krishna also says, certainly all these are noble. The important thing is that with whatever motive we begin spiritual life, if our only purpose and goal is God, we will find that all other thirsts and cravings leave us. Gradually, as our hearts become purified, intense longing for God arises, and that one desire becomes the one paramount thing in our lives. That is the one and perhaps the only condition needed to become a true spiritual aspirant. How is this longing satisfied? How do we find God? Those who have realized him declare in no uncertain terms that it is only by his grace that God can be known. I have known a few such blessed souls, the illumined ones, and they all unequivocally have asserted that it is through his grace and his grace alone that they realize God. Christ also tells us, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. And the Upanishads say, whom the self chooses, by him is he attained. Yet again, these very great souls urge us to exert ourselves. They do not teach us to sit quietly and wait for grace. They insist that we ourselves strive strenuously to find God. Sri Krishna says, quote, "What is man's will and how shall he use it? Let him put forth its power to uncover the Atman, not hide the Atman. Man's will is the only friend of the Atman. His will is also the Atman's enemy," unquote. This seeming contradiction is resolved in one of the sayings of Sri Ramakrishna. "The breeze of God's grace is always blowing. Set your sail to catch this breeze." This is further explained by the following saying. A man may have the grace of his guru. He may have the grace of God and his devotees. But if he has not the grace of his own mind, the others avail him nothing. The grace of your own mind is needed to set the sail to catch the breeze of grace. God is not partial, neither is his grace conditional. He is like the magnet which draws the needle. When the needle is covered with dirt, it does not feel the attraction of the magnet, but wash away the dirt, and at once the needle feels the drawing power and becomes united with the magnet. One of the names of God in Sanskrit is Hari, which means one who steals the heart. God is the one attraction in the universe, but in our ignorance and because of the impurities of our heart, we do not feel this attraction. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, "Weep, weep for the Lord, and let your tears wash away the impurities in your heart." But again, this yearning of the heart for God does not come suddenly. This is why we need to exert ourselves. Those who practice spiritual disciplines and regularly pray and meditate will come directly to the experience of divine grace. It is a psychological experience, almost exactly like the magnet drawing the needle. For example, you are trying to concentrate your mind on God with great regularity, yet the mind remains restless. Through regular practice, there grows yearning in your heart to see him, yet still you seem to be striking your mind against a stone wall. You see nothing but darkness. Then suddenly, whether from within or without, you feel another power drawing your mind inward, and you find yourself diving deeper and deeper within, in spite of yourself. You seem to be in another domain, the world of light, where no darkness enters. Many spiritual visions and ecstasies follow this experience. You come face to face with God. But whenever you are lifted up into this higher consciousness, it is your experience that God himself, by his grace, is lifting you up, attracting you unto himself, and giving you ineffable joy and vision. This, then, is a direct experience of God's grace, which comes only when your heart has become purified through the practice of spiritual disciplines. Vyasa, the commentator on the Yoga aphorisms, compared the mind to a river flowing in opposite directions. One current of the mind flows toward the world, the other flows toward God, toward the attainment of liberation from the bondages of the world. First, there must arise a struggle in your life through the awakening of spiritual discrimination to dam the rush of the downward current that flows toward the world and worldly enjoyments. When we have been victorious in this struggle, we are completely drawn into the Godward current and experience the grace of God. And when at last we realize this grace, we enter forever into that kingdom which no storm or strife can ever reach.
Wow. Put a mark there.
Okay, Swami. The next one is Mantra Yoga by Swami Shraddhananda.
Huh?
The next one is Mantra Yoga by Swami
No, that has been
Shraddhananda.
read. That has been read. Tonight I will be conducting the Saturday evening class. And if there are sufficient people, I shall have the first class Sandesh sweet, which has come by mail yesterday from Yes, Santa Barbara, Mrs. Sangupta. So I shall need somebody to pack those sandesh, sometimes in the afternoon or evening. Then we can keep them in a tray and distribute. It is time, it is 5 minutes to 12. So we shall close. We close with what, Guru Maharaj?
Yes.
Huh?
Join.
Join.
Jai.
Joy. Say the joy. Joy, go on, say joy.
Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai.
You will bring this in the evening?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.